gorilla, nature. Bro, let's go skate. Dude, E equals MC squared. Nerd for life.
Alrighty. So, we are officially recording here. Hello, you guys. My name is Pastor Darius. I am very, very excited to be here today. In today's episode, this is day 3. And in today's episode, when we're talking specifically around the subject of character. In today's episode, we're talking about perseverance. I just want to welcome you guys to a new episode of Pastor Darius Knows Things. I am your host, Pastor Darius. Woo! Very excited to be here today. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and hop right into the topic, right? Like I said, today we're going to be talking about perseverance. I want to start off with the biblical foundations, right? So let's hop right into that. We're going to start with Romans chapter 5, verse 3 through 4, which states, "Not only so, but we also glory in our sufferings, because we know that suffering produces perseverance, perseverance, character, and character, hope." Now, this scripture, the reason why it's so important is because a lot of people think that when they're going through difficult situations, they almost feel like God doesn't love them. And the fact is that we have to go through different challenges so that we can grow as individuals. If you want, let's say a person wants to consider themselves a patient individual, you're not just going to have patience. There is no magic store where you can go and say, you know what, I'll take some patience. How much does that cost? And then all of a sudden, boom, now you got patience. That's not how it works. We gain patience through dealing with difficult people. There's really no other way to gain patience aside from dealing with difficult people. Difficult people, what they do is they challenge you. When you go to God and you ask God for something, God gives you an opportunity to gain whatever it is that you're asking for. A lot of people, I know, they want the genie God. You know what I'm saying? They want the type of God who, when you want something, it's just magically there, snap of a finger, but that's not the God of reality. So let's go ahead and hop back and let's look at the second scripture. Second scripture is Hebrews chapter 12, verse 1, and it states, "Therefore, since we are surrounded by such a great cloud of witnesses, let us throw off everything that hinders and the sin that so easily entangles, and let us run with perseverance the race marked out for us." Perseverance. When we're talking about perseverance, we're talking about not allowing the daily struggles that we go through, right? Maybe it's working at the job that you're in. Maybe you're feeling just a little overwhelmed. You've been going to this job for a year, maybe 2 years. In my case, I've been at working Uber for 8 years. And there are times where I go to the job and it just feels like, oh, well, here we are, another day at the job, listening to people complain about their, piddle-paddle little problems. And then these individuals, it's almost as if people live in their own bubbles. They don't want to acknowledge that there is a world full of individuals whose problems just might be worse than yours, right? And so that's where we're at. That's where I am. A lot of the time I feel overwhelmed. Well, what does that mean? Does that mean I should just quit my job, stop going, give up, and just say, well, that's it, I've had enough? Nah, man, we gotta persevere on. The fact is I've been very fortunate to drive Uber for this time. I've got to meet a lot of individuals, and there have been times where I've even got to witness to people, about being Christian and how, living the judgment-free life. A lot of people, they live the judgment life. They're judging everybody around them. They got the finger of condemnation, out, and they're pointing at everybody, and you're looking at everybody else's faults and ignoring your own. Right? You guys, come on, man. What type of way is that? That's when the weight of the world starts weighing down on you, And if you want to be able to persevere in this life, we need to not be looking at every fault of every individual out there. Maybe we just need to be taking the time to try and figure out how we can fix ourselves, how we can work on ourselves so that we can build our own character. So let's go ahead and go into let's look at the biblical story, right? The biblical story this is coming out of Job, and it says Job endured immense suffering, losing his wealth, his children, and his health. Yet he maintained his faith in God, even when his friends and wife urged him to curse God. His perseverance ultimately led to his restoration. Wow. I mean, the story of Job is incredible. It really is. It really is. The story of Job is, it used to trouble me. I'm going to be straightforward, because Job was loyal to God all along. And I just didn't understand, why would God allow Job to go through so much? Job did not deserve to go through what he went through. He was an honest, a genuine man. He was loyal to God. And Job lost children, he lost flocks, servants, like straight up, man, 100%. And then, it even got to the point where his whole body was covered in boils. And I mean, goodness, man, just straight up suffering, torment, attacks of the devil directly. God allowed it to happen. Why? Why, you may ask? Why would God allow the devil to attack us? Because God knew how strong Job was. You never know how strong you are until you go through situations where you're pushed to the brink of your own sanity. You guys, please stay motivated, persevere. We're supposed to go through difficulty. You can't build patience. You can't, if you don't deal with difficult people, if you're not given the opportunity to be patient, or maybe you have to wait at a job and they keep you waiting and waiting, and you're waiting for, the new job opportunity. The new job opportunity hasn't come yet, and you're like, oh God, I've been loyal to you. When is it going to happen? When is it going to happen? When is the new job coming? And we need to learn to appreciate the struggle. This is what the scripture was talking about earlier. Appreciation for the struggle. Look at the situation that you're in. and be grateful that God has seen that you are so strong that he would give this situation to you because he knew that you could endure through it. Incredible. And yeah, I mean, let me see here. Let's look at we got a couple. Let's look at what other scripture they got here. Oh wait, we're pushing forward. Yeah, and that's from Job 42. It says here, Job 40, chapter 42, right? Now let's go ahead and look at the real life example. Real life example. There's a lady called Corrie ten Boom. Ooh, Corrie ten Boom. Let's talk about Corrie ten Boom. So this lady she is known because of her attributes to helping Jews during the concentration camps in Germany, right? During the Holocaust times. Her life, it says here, biblical connection. Her life mirrored the suffering of Christ and the power of forgiveness. Wow. After surviving the horrors of Ravensbrück concentration camp, where her sister Betsy died, Corrie dedicated her life to sharing her testimony of God's forgiveness. She traveled the world speaking about her experiences and urging people to forgive their enemies. One powerful moment was when she encountered a former guard from the camp and, despite her pain, offered him forgiveness. Wow. Can you guys imagine? I don't know if you really can. Just think about it. Just imagine, right? The Holocaust was they literally, it was almost the annihilation of a people, right? Ridiculous, terrible, horrible situation. And here this lady is, Corrie ten Boom, and she is such an amazing Christian individual. I had a little bit of time to do just basic research on Corrie ten Boom, and it turns out that she led people to Christianity. She led people to Christianity during this time, and she was, leading Jewish people to Christianity during this time, helping people to discover Jesus in a time where even her herself was possibly facing annihilation, and because of her caringness. And during this time, it even says that she had the opportunity to meet with, later on, after the whole Holocaust had ended, or after the Holocaust, she had opportunity to meet with the guards, and she forgave the people who caused so much suffering. She persevered. You guys, I know that a lot of people are going through various different attacks, and sometimes some people are wondering, when is it going to end? When am I going to have peace? When are things going to start going my way? And I understand. I'll tell you now, I've been through so many crazy attacks. I look back at the history of my life, and it's just been one attack after another. And I've had to learn how to persevere through various different struggles, even when I myself didn't know when the struggle was going to end. I'll be realistic. I'm not afraid to talk about my past. A lot of people, they want to hide the things that they've been through, and they want to make it seem like their life has been perfect. You go look on social media, and you got these people who are posting, and it looks like they have this perfect life. Like nothing has gone wrong in their lifetime. Their pictures look perfect. The food that they're eating looks perfect. But you know what? A lot of the time, those people are hiding what is really going on behind the scenes. Realistically, all people go through things. There's not one person on this planet who isn't going through some type of struggle, you know? You guys, nobody is exempt. If Jesus, the Son of God, had to come to this planet and go through diverse struggles, who are you that you think that you are so good that you yourself don't have to go through anything? Jesus died. Jesus died. The Apostle Peter died. You know? Who was the first martyr? Was it Stephen? Stephen? I think it was Stephen. I mean, the apostles were murdered for their faith. Yet, you want to have faith and you don't want anything to happen. You're upset. These people are being murdered and killed for their faith. You know, and Jesus, the faith of God, the Christian faith. In some countries, it is illegal, you know, to worship, to be Christian. Straight up, it's illegal. And if they find out, right, you're likely, it's a possibility you might be facing death or incarceration. Straight up, imprisonment for your faith, believing in God. Go try it in North Korea, bro. You know what I'm saying? Go try going, like, over in North Korea. That's a prime place I could think about, you know, and you go over there trying to preach Christianity and stuff like that. You're facing incarceration, possibly even death. I tell you now, whatever it is that you're going through, there is an end date. There is an end date. I remember when I was incarcerated and I honestly didn't know when it was going to end. I had no clue. And I struggled for days, you know, but I kept faith. I stood. They actually called me preacher. I never forget it. You know, when I was in there, they called me preacher because I always was reading the Bible, and I spent majority of my time just working on getting closer to God, reading the Bible and working on getting closer to God. And, you know, exercising, of course. I was doing push-ups and working on my fitness, and you know, I was literally reading as many books as I could, but mainly focusing on reading the Bible. I was reading the Bible daily. And, you know, I didn't know when it felt like a lifetime went by. I think I did like 6 months. This is some stupid stuff when I was a kid. You know, I took some kid's PlayStation, and, you know, it's a dumb thing that I did, but, you know, it was a lesson learned. And you guys, so let's go on to the action. I want to identify a person, right? Identify a person, challenge, and create a plan to persevere through it. Look at somebody in your life, you guys, who you find it is almost impossible to deal with this person. And I challenge you to create a plan to persevere through this difficulty, and maybe even learn how to forgive that person. You know, maybe they've hurt you. Maybe there's someone in your life who has hurt you and you don't know how to forgive them. I'm challenging you. Forgive and persevere. You guys, it's your boy, Pastor Darius. Thank you for watching. Catch you guys on the next episode. Peace. Hello, you guys. My name is Pastor Darius. I am so grateful for all the people who choose to watch our videos. And I just wanted to take the time to invite you guys to help us to make a difference. I am the Chief Executive Officer and President of the Board of Gorilla Nature, Inc. That's our nonprofit organization. We are a registered 501c3 nonprofit organization, which means that when you make donations to our nonprofit, those donations are tax deductible. So I wanted to invite you guys to, you know, go ahead, go check out our Cash App at Gorilla Nature Inc. Again, that's at Gorilla Nature Inc. Go to our Cash App and make a donation today. You guys can also go check out our website at www.gorillaнаtureinc.com, and that will give you an overview of the work that we've been doing around the world. We are an international nonprofit organization, so we specialize in helping kids in poor countries to get education. We support them in their pursuit of education. We buy school books, we buy backpacks, and we buy school supplies. We also do events to help the kids, and we are helping kids. We've done projects over in India, we've done in Bangalore, we've done projects in Kerala over in India, we've also done projects over in Ghana in Africa, and we've sent our teams over to Nigeria. I personally have gone down to Nicaragua, and I've been over in Costa Rica, and we've done projects internationally in different parts of the world. We have many organizations that we work with, and the fact is that we need your support to be able to keep doing the work that we're doing. So if you guys appreciate these videos and the hard work that we're doing to keep putting out these videos, please help to support us so we can continue to help support the operations, and also help support the young kids who we are inspiring on a daily basis to believe for great things. I want to thank you so much. I am Pastor Darius. Hope you guys have a great day. Thanks for watching this video.